in not one place have we said anything that's anti any religion. I would never do that. I'm again happy we live in a country where we have freedom of opinions and freedom of speech. You're not beheaded for having a freedom of opinion. I can wear lipstick and my hands not chopped off. Production's account was hacked and that 32,000 was changed to 3. And for 7 minutes, screenshots were taken and uploaded online with some morphed images of mine also. The factual evidence that they have about the number is going to be put out shortly. They didn't want to do it before. Also because when you do it before, then people will say, oh, now you're doing propaganda to promote this movie. This is not true. Is it true really? Did you really get raped? Are you sure? Prove it. I think saying that to someone who's actually been through it is so horrid. It's put me to a space of darkness which will always be in my mind. Always, not that I have to always be dark, but yeah, I know that my mind has reached a point that it can go into a really dark place. I almost told myself to not be allowed to dream big because I said that I'm an outsider who's come into an industry. I don't know people.
Ada, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you.
The Kerala Story is doing extremely well at the box office. Congratulations for it. Had you expected this response?
No, to be honest, I think any film we do, I'm not a Jyotish, I can't really know what's exactly going to happen with it.
Yeah.
But we all had a good feeling also because the vibes on set were so good. So usually when that happens, and you know, you all are all putting your everything to, I felt it's going in the right direction. But I didn't know this is what the outcome is going to be.
You know, actor Chris Colfer once said, I don't personally feel a responsibility to be a role model, but as the actor, I do. And it's so right also, right? When you're an actor, so many people look up to you, so many people want to follow you. Firstly, do you feel responsible as an artist of what you portray on screen as an actor?
Yes, I do. I mean, I know that I am a role model for a lot of girls from frivolous things like a hair color maybe, or like what I'm wearing, but that's in my personal life as me. But maybe tomorrow I might play a negative role where I do something really horrible. But yes, I am aware that I am responsible, so I try to, you know, when I'm picking roles also, again, if it's a negative role, then I'm playing something where I'm a negative role, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then if she's up to no good, then it's fine. But a film like this, because it's on a true story, yes, I did know that it comes with a certain responsibility.
You are portraying a real story on screen, it will
Right.
always come with its own criticism.
Absolutely.
And the criticism you all have received in general is, the film is called Islamophobic, it is called a hate speech, and it is also called an audiovisual propaganda. After the release of the film, when you get such a feedback, do you feel or do you self-doubt your choice as an artist that you have made?
No, absolutely not, because when I signed the film, I knew that we are talking about something that's national, a threat to national security. I love my country, I love being an Indian, and I'm very proud to be an Indian. So when I know that something is going to harm the security of my nation, my country, I totally stand up for it. As a girl, this has nothing to do with being an actor, just as a girl, from an Indian girl. I also know that as an Indian girl, the place I live in, I do have the freedom of thought and speech. And I can't imagine being in a place where it's curbed.
Yeah.
I'm sure for a boy or girl, for anyone of any gender, freedom of thought and speech, if you're going to curb, is going to be so problematic. And I can't imagine living in a place like that, like the place I did live in this movie. And I think it's so inhuman to take somebody out and forcefully put them in a place where that's how life is going to be for them.
Yeah.
So I stood up for the film because I said it's terrorism against humanity for me when I signed it. And our trailer, I find it actually very surprising, but of course that was before the film was released. After, actually, whoever's seen it has not really said things to me about how they felt that the film has wronged them or something. But before, yes. But when our trailer released, our first line in the trailer, he's asking me, "Aapne ISIS kab join kiya?" ISIS. And I say, ISIS kab join kiya? ये जानने के लिए क्यों और कैसे ये ज़रूरी है. So I've always been told that terrorism has no religion attached to it. And ISIS, as we know, is a terror organization. My other thing when we were shooting the film was, I asked them, I said, aren't the terror organizations going to have a problem with our film? Because we are openly calling out terror organizations. In not one place have we said anything that's anti any religion. I would never do that. I've never been taught to take down any religion. Forget religion, anyone of any race, ethnicity, even any species actually. My parents have brought me up in such a way that even an elephant's life is as important as your life. A dog's life is as important as yours. So religion is a man-made, created thing. I've never discriminated between species. So I would never stand up for anything that discriminates anyone from any part of our society, any living being.
Yeah.
But I would discriminate against people who bully. I would discriminate against terror, and I think we should all stand up against terror. And this film is showing you a step-by-step process of how a girl is becoming a terrorist, not out of her own choice. So I thought it was an important film to do, and since I took up the role and I met the actual girls who went through it, I read their stories, and like my director had told me, he said sometimes in India, when you hear things, some people, when it's an Indian girl, they'll say, oh, okay, whatever. But when you say it's happening abroad, then you're already like, oh, internationally it's happening, really? So he had told me to Google ISIS brides when we started the film. So that time I had Googled it, and it's for everyone. Now it's on public domain. There's a step-by-step thing with names, addresses, photographs, videos of victims, girls chained in terrorist camps, girls put in the tanker, not just women actually, men as well, children as well. So I think anyone who has humanity in them will connect to it, not just me, and that's why I think the whole nation is standing up for us.
Sure. No, I completely agree with you, but there is a certain section who did feel the film is Islamophobic. When a certain section does feel that way, as an artist, you also give them a ear to understand what they are trying to convey to you. Did you, after the film release and this criticism came your way, did you try to make an effort to understand why are they feeling that way?
Yeah, our director actually had this girl who was a Muslim girl who had messaged him and the trailer was out. And she used to abuse him every single day and say, how can you make a film that's Islamophobic? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? She watched the film then, and she sent him a message which he has pinned to his comments. He's so happy with it because she said, I watched the film and you're actually telling us how people are misusing Islam. You're misusing a religion to convert people. That's not the religion, neither are we saying that. And that's why we've shown 4 people in the movie. We haven't shown like 100.
Yeah.
We've shown 4 people who are part of that terrorist nexus. The boy who's my boyfriend, my friend's boyfriend, the girl who's our roommate, and the main guy who's part of that center.
Yes.
So, and even at the end of the movie, they show the same 4 people again converting 2 new girls who come there. So she said, you're actually doing a service to our religion because you're telling people how people are misusing our religion, and our religion isn't like that. I don't think any religion or anyone sane in the world would tell you to do anything that is detrimental to humanity. There has to be something off with somebody to be promoting taking human lives, taking any life. So yeah, I don't think any religion is saying that. And of course, but the other thing is, I'm again happy we live in a country where we have freedom of opinions and freedom of speech. You're not beheaded for having a freedom of opinion. I can wear lipstick and my hands not chopped off. So I'm very grateful that we live in a place like that.
Yeah.
So everyone's opinion, yes, you should put your opinion.
Yeah.
My only request is watch the movie and then put your opinion.
Absolutely.
However, if you don't want to watch the movie also and put your opinion, that's also allowed in my country. So I'm very happy about that as well.
No, I completely agree what you're saying. There's nothing absolutely more important than freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Another criticism that came your way is when the trailer came out and the story of 32,000, the plight of 32,000 women was later changed to a story of 3 women after certain criticism came the way of the film. When something like this happens...
That actually, so our teaser that came out in November, that had me saying 32,000 also.
Yeah.
No? I say, wo Registan mein 32,000, 32,000 ladkiyan, okay, that had that. And that teaser, which came out in November, that had 32,000 written in the description of the YouTube thing. Our trailer, when it came out, from the first day, it said 3 girls. Because in a movie, you can't show 32,000 girls.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone can cast me as 32,000 people, maybe. But in this movie, we cannot show... it's a broad view of it, but it goes into the lives of, like, I'm telling you the story, you saw the movie. And you can't have 32,000 stories in one movie.
Yeah.
So our trailer always had 3 girls. Our account on YouTube was hacked. I mean, not mine, the production's account was hacked. And that 32,000 was changed to 3. And for 7 minutes, screenshots were taken and uploaded online with some morphed images of mine also, which I don't think any girl would like those images. I must, yeah, that's another conversation. With those images later, morphed ones of mine with another body that was not clothed, and this screenshot, and it was put on Twitter as a paid campaign. They caught that. We changed that back to 32,000 because that teaser where I'm talking had 32,000 and this had 3 always. So they got to change back in 7 minutes. But in that 7 minutes, there was a whole campaign, a paid campaign on Twitter apparently, which did this whole thing. So yeah, but we recently had the press conference where we called the actual girls. 26 of them came, and you can hear it from their mouths as well. I think it's diminishing all that they went through to even say that, you know, is it true, is it propaganda? Because you can say that to me, I'm an actor. You can say that to all of us who are in this movie or saying, you know, y'all are just making a movie. But those girls who've actually gone through it, to then tell them that this is not true. Is it true really? Did you really get raped? Are you sure? Prove it. I think saying that to someone who's actually been through it is so horrid. And those girls even said, you can check, those videos are all out, that the number is way higher than 32,000.
Firstly, I'm really sorry for what happened with you during that paid campaign. It should not happen to anyone. Forget an actor.
Girl, any
it shouldn't
girl,
happen to anyone.
Any human actually.
Any human, absolutely. Nice. But what I meant to ask you is, when you put out a number and when you're asked to prove the number, and that number is obviously, like you said, it's not being proved. So some people also raise questions on the factual authenticity of it. Does that as an artist make you question the content?
The thing is, no, they have the factual evidence that they have about the number is going to be put out shortly. They didn't want to do it before. Also because when you do it before, then people will say, oh, now you're doing propaganda to promote this movie. Now this movie has broken all records, crossed everything, despite it having criticism, despite people saying it's propaganda, despite some people saying, you know, y'all are just... First people said elections. Okay, then 2 weeks got over and our third week did better than all of that happened. So then people said, okay, so then it's propaganda. Then they said, okay, it's not propaganda because the real girls came there. Then they said, oh, maybe it is fake numbers. And then this whole stock market thing about discussing numbers. I found that very upsetting in the beginning. It really shook me because I was like, human lives, you know, we're talking about it like, kitna? No, it's 29,000, only 29,336. No, it's 26,000. No, it's 48,000. And in the beginning, you get so hyper that human life is so cheap that we can just
put it in numbers.
Put it in a number, because it's not one person who's our person in that statistic. As soon as it's your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, your friend in that statistic, then I don't think people will talk about 3 or 32. However, that 32, they're going to come out with some, I leave that to how they're planning to do it. But that's why we had that conference where we had the girls actually come and tell their stories. And I think when you hear it from them, since they've been going through it, and they have a ashram over there in Kerala. So they know the amount of girls coming in. So she spoke at length about this.
Yeah.
And I think after that a lot of dilution happened then with people who are like, what is this number thing? When they hear it from her saying it, then, you know.
Yeah. When you played that character, did it take a toll on you?
Yeah, again, as a human being, it kind of will. I would be lying if I say it doesn't. And it should, know. If you're doing something so heavy and it doesn't take a toll on you, then you're a robot, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, it did, of course, affect me, I think, mentally and physically. Physically also, there were some really tough scenes to do. I had a great director, I had great co-actors who were very nice. But yeah, it does take a toll on your mental psyche also. And I think that it's put me to a space of darkness which will always be in my mind. Always, not that I have to always be dark, but yeah, I know that my mind has reached a point that it can go into a really dark place, because for this we had to go there. So
how are you dealing with it then?
I'm not.
You must.
For now, I know that, but I think it was too quick. And immediately after that, I had to do another project that we got on to the next day, because there was some date thing. We were shooting in Hindu Kush, which was really cold. It was minus 16. And that date went little idhar-udhar. So the next day I started with another project. So yeah, I didn't really deal with this. But I think, yeah, that I haven't thought about. I don't have an answer to that.
Your journey began in 2008 with 1920.
Yes, 100 saal pehle.
15 saal pehle.
100 years ago, no.
It feels like 100 years?
No, calculator was 1920, 2023, so 103 years ago.
Yeah. But I think, do you feel you're getting your due now? And which is why it feels like 100 years.
The thing is, after 1920 release, I felt I got my due immediately then, because the critics wrote really amazing stuff about me.
They did praise your performance.
They did, and the audience also was really nice to me after that. So I thought, wow, I have arrived and got my due, but no, I had to wait for a while to get a film like the Kerala Story.
Yeah.
But I think the audience have always been supportive, and I've never dreamed of anything like this ever.
Yeah.
I know it's everyone's birthright to dream, and I do dream, but I had kept my dreams really small because I thought that this would never be possible. I almost told myself to not be allowed to dream big, because I said that I'm an outsider who's come into an industry. I don't know people. I don't know if this is going to be possible. So this was never my dream. I never imagined that this movie would do this and I would be the face of a movie that does. I never had these dreams ever.
Yeah.
I'm living other people's dreams. So now when people ask me, what is your dream? I'm like, let other people dream for me. Maybe their dreams are cooler than mine.
Yeah. But I think with Kerala Story, you will dream more bigger now because it gives you
I think I feel entitled and privileged enough that now I have the opportunity to maybe be allowed to dream.
That comes to an outsider after many, many years?
To me at least. It's different for different people. But yeah, that is there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I think.
Before 2008 also there was a slight struggling phase as well.
Right.
Before you got your first film. When you look back at those days today, how do you feel?
Exactly the same. People told me after 1920, they were like, now you'd get everything, and that didn't happen. Though I'm very grateful for 1920, it'll always be a film that I'm so proud of, and I got to do that in my first film. Who gets an opportunity to do all of that? But yeah, I think after Kerala, it'll be a little easier maybe. I don't know. It's too soon to say.
Actually, I was just going to ask you, have you seen the difference? Have you felt the industry open up to you a lot more?
I have felt the difference with people actually generally because there's more, I mean, it's the first time I have a movie that's so widely watched.
Yeah.
So it feels really nice. Because performance and all, people used to say nice things to me before, but like these many people who used to watch it. Now people like internationally and all are watching it. So it feels really nice that from everywhere around the world, people are saying all lovely things.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
feels good.
Any chance of doing something with Vipul sir again?
I'm doing Commando with him again, where I again play Bhavna Reddy.
Yes.
So for the action fans, that's still there. There'll be more action and more comedy, and that role stays as is in Commando. And after that, I don't know. I hope they take me for something else that's nice also. I think it's really cool of Vipul sir to trust somebody who's done Bhavna Reddy to do Kerala Story, because there I'm beating up all goons, and here I'm getting beaten up. So to cast someone like that and not typecast me in like, okay, she can do only action or that. As an actor, that feels very nice that someone trusts you to do that. So,
have you started shooting for Commando or?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Oh, amazing. Tell me more about it.
I don't think I can say too much about it, but like I said, what I can say is that my role is Bhavna Reddy only, and there's lots of action, and we again have Andy Long, who's Jackie Chan's stunt director, who's doing the action. So the action is also going to be quite cool, and we're using different objects as weapons. So that was a fun. There's cool action. I don't think I should say anymore.
Sure. I can't wait to see that and everything else you're doing in the future. Thank you so much, Adah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to Pinkvilla.